start this, are you going to do any trades or anything? Like, do I need to wait for you to, or are we just doing no trade first round like we did last time?
We'll do no trade.
All right, so I'm not going to edit draft order. 1 round. We don't need 2 rounds. Do select all. All right, I'm pressing enter draft now. You want to go first? Chicago Bears are on the clock.
All right, yeah. So if Chicago keeps number 1, I got them taking Will Anderson. That's been the talk. That's been the buzz. That's what they need. They need some type of defensive player in the draft to beef that up. Mm-hmm. So I'm going Will Anderson, first round.
All right.
First round draft pick.
I'm going to agree with Will Anderson. Before, I would probably say Jalen Carter. I still think they are going to trade back in real life. I think they're going to. It's a smart
Yes,
move.
Absolutely.
But we're doing no trades here, guys, if you're coming here. So I'm going to go Will Anderson just because Jalen Carter's arrest going on. So I'm going to go Will Anderson as well. Then we got the Texans at 2. I think we might both agree with here. But you might have something different now. Who you got?
So if the draft order stays the exact same, I've got the Houston Texans taking Anthony Richardson.
Okay. I like that for them. I'm going to go Bryce Young. I just think that a lot of teams have consensus Bryce Young's their top quarterback. So we differ there on quarterbacks there, but I still think they're taking quarterback. They got to. Pick number 3. This is where I would originally have Will Anderson if Jalen Carter didn't get arrested. On the clock, I'm going to go with Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. Personally, I think he is a great edge defender, and he's got a lot of upside.
So that was going to be my pick as well. But I'm going to actually go with Jalen Carter. I think that his playing ability is there's just too much upside for him. And I don't think it's gonna affect him that much.
Gotcha. All right, pick 4. This is where it comes down to me: C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson. To me, man, it just depends on who. To me, it's come out that the Colts are down to Stroud and Richardson. So if you guys are wondering who they're going to take, it's either one of these 2 quarterbacks. It just depends on who they value more. I like Richardson here simply because of what he can do with Jonathan Taylor. So I'm going to take Anthony Richardson at 4.
All right. Well, I got Anthony Richardson off the board already, so I'm going with Bryce Young to the Indianapolis Colts.
All right. Like that pick. Now, with the Seattle Seahawks, they need guard, center, D lineman. They kind of need a little bit of everything. Man. This is Jalen Carter is still on my board, and that is very enticing. But I think I'm going to go with, again, legal trouble. I'm going to go with, and we talked about him. He's a winner of the combine for me. Kalijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh. They need defensive lineman and 4'6", 40 for almost 300 pounds. You can't pass up on that. So I'm going to go Cansey.
All right, I got based off of the rumor mill. They're still looking to add a quarterback to their roster, and I think they would be stupid not to go ahead and take C.J. Stroud if he's still on the board here.
All right,
which he is on mine.
He's on mine as well. All right, it's a good pick. It's a good pick, especially with Geno. Maybe his 1 year was a fluke, and they need a quarterback to step in. Could be it. I have the Lions. To me, they need a corner. I
think we both got this one.
I'm going Christian Gonzalez just because
that's who I got.
Yeah, I think I like Witherspoon, but Christian Gonzalez ran a great 40, and I just think he kind of solidified himself as a top corner in this draft.
All right. I'm going the same, by the way.
All right. With the Raiders on the clock, again, they need a quarterback at this point. I could see I have Stroud still sitting there, so I'm thinking the Raiders will take Stroud, but I think, again, they could take Levis. They love the big arms.
So who do you got him taking?
I got him taking Stroud.
All right. I got Will Levis going to the Las Vegas Raiders.
All right. Colts Mania, why do I have AR going to the Colts? Because the Colts are down to Anthony Richardson and Stroud per reports, and I'm just going upside here. He runs a 4.43, and I'm not a Raiders fan. I am not. CJ Stroud, he's very accurate, and I like CJ Stroud, but I'm just going off kind of the upside and everything like that. Again, the Zach Wilson kind of thing. He had a big pro day, big combine. Going for upside here. Then we have the Panthers at 9. The Falcons at 8. Sorry, skipped the person.
Lucas Van Ness.
You're going Lucas Van Ness. I like that. I think this is where I'm going to put Jalen. I think this will end his slide for me personally. If you're taking Van Ness is a dominant edge defender, though, out of Iowa. And then we have 9 with the Panthers.
Tyree Wilson for me.
With the Panthers, I'm going to give them Will Levis here. I think that Frank Reich is a quarterback guru. They need a quarterback. I still have Will Levis on the board, so I'm going Panthers there. We have Philly on the clock. I'm going Devin Witherspoon, personal thing. This is kind of poor reports. This is kind of who the Eagles are leaning towards. If you follow the NFL, this is kind of their either defensive end or Devin Witherspoon. And with him still being on my board, I'm going Devin Witherspoon, especially with the loss of James Bradbury. Darius Slay's not getting any younger. They now, per history of the Eagles, they don't necessarily draft a quarterback corner in the first round. They haven't done that since Lito Shepherd, but I'm going to go with Devin Witherspoon here.
I'm in concurrence with you there. Especially they got to replace Bradbury.
Yeah. And then we have the Titans on the clock. The Titans kind of a wild card here.
This is interesting. Yeah.
They could go offensive line. They do need a tackle, but I don't know. For some reason, I like Jackson Smith-Njigba. He's my number one receiver in this draft. I just think Quentin Johnson is a Titans receiver, and so that's who can be my pick. I don't know. He's a big receiver that they kind of like, and they have Trayon Burks as well. So I think that'd be a nice compliment.
So I'm going to go with Peter Skronsky. Offensive line, Northwestern.
I like that. With Skronsky, too, what I like about Skronsky is he does have short arms, so if he doesn't work at tackle, you can throw him right in the guard, and he'll be a top-tier guard. So you're not missing out. With the Texans on the clock, they got their quarterback. They need some defensive linemen, but they do, Mechie coming back from quote-unquote injury, I'm glad he's healed from his leukemia. I think they could take a receiver here. And Jackson Smith, at the combine, his routes were so crisp. And like I said, he moved up on my board a little bit. He was like number 3 on my board before. But at that combine, he just showed explosiveness, great route running, and great hands. And so I think that, again, I like when you draft a receiver and a quarterback together because they can mold and come together. They have Damian Pierce. They have Mechie. And I think I'm going to go Jackson Smith-Njigba here.
I do get that with the drafting a quarterback and a receiver so they can mold. But I think with drafting a quarterback and then you have a player whose first season is going to be this upcoming season since he was out with Mechie, I think they need to beef up that defense a little bit. So I'm going Brian Brees.
I like that. They do, listen, they got a defensive-minded head coach. I do like that pick, and I was thinking about defense there. I was for sure. With the Jets, quarterback, tackle, linebacker, they still got Peter Skronsky. To me, Peter Skronsky's not my number one tackle. I actually have Anton Harrison as my number one, although Paris Johnson is kind of 1A, 1B for me. I like Paris Johnson and Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma. I think Anton's going to rise up on boards as we move on, doing the pro day and stuff like that. So I am going to go with Anton Harrison here.
All right, I'm going to go with Paris Johnson.
All right, I like that. The Jets need, they need a tackle, so you're not missing out. Like I said, I love Paris Johnson as well. Those Ohio State, offense linemen usually work out. So,
I mean, he was going 13 or 14 for me either way. So
yeah. With the Patriots on the clock, they need an edge defender, tackle, quarterback is kind of what PF's is saying, but I don't think they need a quarterback. They're all in on Mac Jones, and they also have Zappy. So I don't think they're going quarterback. Obviously, that'd be dumb of the Patriots to do. At that point, they're saying they give up on Mac Jones. They could go tackle here. I think they are in play to get a good
they
tackle. They
definitely need to go tackle.
But this is where I think maybe Lucas Van Ness kind of fits in with helping that pass rush there. He's a monster, and he's one of my favorite defense players in this draft.
All right, I'm going to go Broderick Jones.
All right, definitely bulk up and help Mac Jones on that offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Trent Brown is entering his last year. I mean, they're going to need that help.
For sure. Green Bay on the clock. They could go wide receiver here. I like Zay Flowers a lot for them. Zay Flowers is one of my favorite receivers in this draft, if you guys know me. They could go tight end. It's really, to me, again, how are you going to help Jordan Love? Because right now I think Jordan Love's going to be the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers next year with just how everything's looking. Man, I don't know. Jordan Addison kind of came in a little small at the combine. Zay Flowers bulked up, ran still very well. But it could go tight end, get Dalton Kincaid, who I think they probably like more than Myers, although I like Myers a lot. But to me, Myers, he's going to Tampa Bay for me just because he's kind of that prototypical Tampa Bay tight end, who's also another tight end needy team.
I've got Michael Mayers going to Green Bay.
Yeah, okay, so
that's who my pick is.
I'll split there then. You get Myers, I'll get Kincaid, and we'll see if whose tight end gets picked.
Yeah,
right. With Washington on the clock, they need a guard, and every time I do this mock draft, Osiris Torrance out of Florida, he's my number one guard. He is a monster, and I'm just going to give them Osiris Torrance. I think he's a Commander's guard. I think he's going to be great fitting in there for him to help Sam Howell get some help passing that ball there for protection.
I'll agree there.
And then we have the Steelers coming up, and they need a tackle, linebacker, and corner. And I really want to go Joey Porter Jr. because obviously his dad played for the Steelers, and Joey Porter Sr. played linebacker there. They need tackle. Paris Johnson's still sitting there, and I think even though Joey Porter is sitting there, and that's the son of former Steelers great, Paris Johnson Jr. just intrigues me too much. I have to take him to protect Kenny Pickett. He just needs that help.
Who'd you take?
Paris Johnson Jr.
All right, I'm taking Darnell Wright.
All right, good pick. Now, with the Lions, guys, if you guys are coming in, this is a no-trade mock draft. So, obviously, there are going to be some trades that we think might happen, but right now we're just trying to maneuver the draft as if there is absolutely no trades. With the Lions, who'd I take with the Lions? Christian Gonzalez, they got their corner. They need defensive linemen. I'm going to go Brian Bresee. Pairing him with Aiden Hutchinson, I think that's a pretty dominant defensive line there. They also have James Houston out of Jackson State, who showed up, put up 9 sacks in like 6 games. So that defense line bolsters. They need defense. So
yeah, I'm going Nolan Smith. I mean, I think him and Aiden, and then what's the other dude's name? James Houston. Mm-hmm. I think the three of them. I think it would be a fairly good complementary squad there. So I'm going Nolan Smith
for sure
out of Georgia.
Yeah, I like Nolan Smith, man. He helped himself a lot in the combine, like a lot. And
a lot. And
the fact that I still have him, to be honest, he could go top 10, like 10 to 15 range, not top 10, but probably 10 to 15 range. It's just it's really hard to kind of find these players, and his injury history is the only reason why I would maybe let him slip down this far. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're banking on Kyle Trask. They've already said that that's kind of their guy for this upcoming season. And this is where you took Myers before. They need a tight end. They lost Gronk and everything like that. Again, Myers is a better blocker than Kincaid, but he's also kind of he's a good receiver, better blocker. He's kind of overall better as far as if you're looking for Travis Kelce, you go Kincaid. If you're looking for more of an overall tight end like a Mark Andrews and stuff like that, I think you go Meyer. So I'm going Meyer here.
All right. He definitely fits there perfectly. I'm going to go Brian Branch because that secondary is in need of some work, especially with free agency coming up. There's a lot of players that might not be coming back. So I'm going Brian Branch.
I agree. And Colts Mania, the only reason why I put Paris there is because for me, Peter's more of a guard. He has very short arms. They're going to try him on a tackle, whoever team picks him, but I think ultimately he moves into guard, and that's why the Seahawks sitting here, I'm going to go with Peter Skorinski because I think, and I project him to go to guard later in his career. So I think the Seahawks pick him a nice offensive lineman there, who I think is going to move inside.
I got Jackson Smith.
All right, that's a good pick. Can't go wrong with the wide receiver. Los Angeles Chargers, definitely a wide receiver needed team. Keenan Allen is, he's always hurt. Mike Williams caught the injury bug as of late. Zay Flowers is still sitting on my board, so I'm going to go with Zay Flowers.
I've got Zay Flowers as well.
And then another wide receiver needed team, the Ravens. They need an edge defender, though. Myles Murphy's still sitting there. And to me, that is intriguing. I think, and they don't hit on wide receivers. They've admitted that. So I'm gonna go Myles Murphy here just because help with the pass rush, and I'm gonna be
honest. I don't know what the Ravens need because they need a lot. So I'm just gonna agree with you because right. Especially with this Lamar situation going on, it's just I don't know. I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah. Now, with the Vikings, they need a corner. They need linebackers. They just got rid of Eric Kendricks, who has been there for a while.
They need a new quarterback.
they need a new quarterback. Kirk Cousins, Kurt Cochains or something like that. Yeah. There's not a quarterback left that I see them willing to take. I know they're kind of heavy on AR-15, but I think he's gone by now. I think a corner that really helped his draft stock is Deontay Banks. And I know Joey Porter.
Deontay!
That's what I was going to go with. Yeah, I think I still got Joey Porter there, and I love Joey Porter Jr., but Banks really helped himself in the draft. He had fluid hips. I mean, he ran a great 40, great vert. I mean, he had a great combine. And he's one of those players that maybe were slept on, maybe helped themselves earn some money, and I think they earned some money here. And I'm going with Banks. You going with Banks?
I'm in agreement.
Okay. Yep. So with the Jaguars, I'm taking Brian Branch. He's the best safety in the draft. They need DB help. It's just, to me, that's simple.
All right, I'm going Darwin Jones out of Ohio State.
Okay, I like that. And then with Nolan Smith, they do need a tight end. The Giants. I think this is where the Giants get. They help. They have Thibodeau. They have Nolan Smith. That would be a great pass rush. And I think this is where Nolan Smith's slide stops because, hey, Thibodeau and Nolan Smith. You have to get after the quarterback in the NFC East at this point. And 4.39 defensive end, like that's great. And he can stand up as well. So
I think the Giants need a wide receiver.
They definitely need wide receivers, but I think they might go free agency. That's why the only reason why.
Yeah.
I want no.
I am going to go with knowing the Giants will probably draft Jalen Hyatt, but I'll go Jordan Addison.
Okay, I like that pick. I was thinking about Jordan Addison for them. Again, he measured a little shorter. But he's still a great route runner. He's got good hands. They have Wendell Robinson. That's pretty much it. So I do like that Addison pick for the Giants as well. I would not complain if I was a Giants fan there. Yeah. With the Cowboys needing a wide receiver, speaking of Addison, I'm giving them Addison. They need wide receiver help. They have Pollard. They just franchise tagged him. I think Addison just kind of helps with that slot area.
I do believe they need some wide receiver help. CD is definitely their number one guy, but he definitely needs some He needs some help. So let's see, who do we got here? I'll go Quentin Johnson.
All right, you still have him on your board, so I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good fit. Good outside receiver. So we kind of picked half, split there. I took the slot guy, and you took the outside guy. Either way, I think the Cowboys are in a better position. With the Bills on the board. Oh man, they just lost Jordan Poyer. They're losing Edmonds. They got that Kyrie Elam, and they don't need a corner. They definitely don't need a corner. What we got left here at tight end? Or I don't see if anyone guard.
I'm gonna surprise you with my pick.
The Bills could lose out on Diggs. Diggs is tweeted like cryptic tweet of saying goodbye. I don't know. I think they go value here, I guess. And is my guy still there? Okay. I love Steve Avila from TCU. He's a great guard. He's my guard number 2 in this draft. And I think he can play center. So I think with them needing center or guard help, I think he could sneak into the first round, bottom of the first. I think if you really want him.
Buffalo Bills take Bijan Robinson. Singletary's not it.
Ooh, they do have
you add Cook, yes, but look, you get Robinson in there.
That's I like that. I like that. That's a dangerous team at that point. I like that. With now, speaking of Robinson, Joe Mixon has some legal trouble going on, and he's a potential free agent. I'm gonna go Bijan Robinson to the Bengals.
That man ain't gonna be a free agent. That man's gonna be locked up.
Yeah. So I like Bijan Robinson to the Bengals. You're replacing Mixon with a younger, polished back. So I like Robinson to the Bengals. I think Cincinnati can't go wrong there.
Yeah, I think with everything going on with Mixon, it definitely changes up their need. Mm-hmm. I think the past few years, or not past few years, the past year or two, Mixon really hasn't showed up as much as he should have. He's had some games where it's like, whoa, man, that dude can run. But then you have some games where he'll get like 20 touches and he doesn't even break 100 or 50 or anything like that. So I'm going to – they're going to need to take a running back. So
Jahmyr Gibbs?
It's either Gibbs. Yeah, I'm going Gibbs.
Gibbs is electric, so they can't go wrong
Gibbs
with that.
Gibbs is good, for sure, yeah. And he had a good combine.
Yeah. Definitely ran fast. Now we have the Saints on the board. They could go Tanner McKee here. I don't think Tanner McKee's worth a first-round pick, and I think they just got Derek Carr. I mean, I know they got Derek Carr, so they're not really looking for quarterback here, and they're not going to waste a first-round pick on a quarterback now. Joey Porter's still sitting on the board. I think they take Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State. I think his slide stops. He's a good fit. They need a corner. I think he all around, it's a pretty good pick for the Saints for me.
I think with that aging defense, I got Mozzie Smith.
I like Mozzie Smith. He's a good defense interior lineman. With the Eagles on the board, they got their corner with Miles Sanders leaving, Boston Scott potentially leaving. If they don't, I think they signed either one. There's potential talks about Miles Sanders coming back on a cheaper deal. However, listen, you just took Gibbs, and I think I'm taking Gibbs here. I just think it's like that offense with Jahmyr Gibbs and Jalen Hurts and Kenneth Gainwell, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, it's just electric with Gibbs. I think that he's also a slot receiver at the same time. He has great hands, so I'm taking Gibbs.
All right. I think with it's not confirmed whether Kelsey's retiring or not. So I think if with that being in doubt and question, I think you need to go with some type of protection.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Osiris Torrance.
All right. I thought you already took him with with
No.
Washington. Who'd you take with
Did I?
Washington? Yeah. You said you agreed.
Let me go up. I may have.
I think you did.
All right, let me see who else is on the board here for.
As you get lost, and when you make these mock drafts and you're not like you can't see half the board, you're like, oh, who did I draft already? Like I don't remember who I drafted, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm not on the same site as you, so I'm.
What side are you on?
let's see.
You're not on PFF, are you? You should be able to type in
No.
no matter where you're at. Search players.
All right, let's see here. They need some help. I mean, any help's good help.
Yeah.
I don't think I've taken him. I don't know if he's first rounder.
There's Will McDonald still sitting on the board, edge rusher, and they do like their edge rushers.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at this list here.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. The draft's already over at this point, Taylor. Just draft game and win.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting ready to start drafting for the 2025 season.
We'll just go with Jordan McFadden. I don't think I've taken him yet.
Guard to the Eagles. I could see that. The only thing is they have Cam Jurgens, and I think they're going to try to bring back Kelsey. He's just a fan favorite, and he's still top center. And they have Cam Jurgens, who's his backup. That's why he can play guard. He's going to play guard, but he was really drafted to replace Kelsey. So it's kind of it for that. With the Kansas City Chiefs, they're losing.
This one's easy.
To me, they're losing.
Sorry.
You're good. Broderick Jones still sitting there. Orlando Brown is potentially on the move. So they could go Broderick Jones and get tackle. Will McDonald interests me. He's still sitting there for me, especially with
Remember,
Frank Clark.
They're releasing. Yeah, they're releasing Frank Clark. So
Yeah. So with that being said, I will take Will McDonald here. I think it's a solid pick for the Chiefs.
all right, and I don't believe I've taken Will McDonald yet. So I'm going to go in agreement with you. I think that's a good fit, especially with that release.
Yeah.
And plus, I think it'll. Yeah, I think that's a perfect fit for him. I mean, they definitely don't need any wide receivers or tight ends or running backs or anything like that. So, and that offensive line is still stacked.
Yeah. Now, like I said, they could take tackle with Orlando Brown potentially on the move, but following year. So I don't know if they're going to re-sign him or not, but they could find that in the free agency or later in the draft. I mean, this draft is pretty solid as far as the offense line and defensive line. So, all right, all right.
I'll try and go through later and read through
Redraft
mine because it's completely. Yeah.
I got you. All right. With that being said, guys, thank you guys for coming out. That was our mock draft. If you guys want to know our full breakdown, again, you guys can rewatch the show. We will be breaking it up. We do our draft. We did our combine winners and losers today. Talked about we liked Anthony Richardson. Obviously, we're still a little weary about him. He does have to get his footwork down. And that's pretty much what Anthony Richardson has to fix is his footwork. He's got to get his top and his bottom evened up. And if he can do that, he can be great. CJ Stroud, best passer at the combine. Will Levis. Stetson Bennett, winner of the combine as well, as far as quarterbacks go. But guys, make sure you hit that follow button, that subscribe button. We are on Spotify, so if you want to listen to us on the go, make sure you follow us there as well. But again, hit that subscription button for YouTube and the notification button. And thank you guys for coming out. And Taylor, anything you would like to say before we peace out?
Yeah, Tom Brady's the GOAT.
My dad's going to kill you. All right. Peace out, guys. Much love from the booth. We will be live next week. Make sure you follow us on all socials.